Michigan. What are you doing this week to save America?
Well, thank you, Jason, as well. Down in Florida, yes. I'm actually here as part of the America Project support of Border 911, which is Tom Homan, the former director of ICE's initiative to raise awareness on the crisis that our nation is facing as a result of our open border policies.
Mhm.
And this is really a significant issue across the nation that is starting to finally gain steam. And I've been working on this since late 2022 when we realized that as we're going into the 2023 uh, election down year, that there was going to be an information um, void because there wasn't many elections going on, and so we were like, we have to maintain the engagement. We have to show the issues. We cannot let up. We have to be in this information warfare zone where we're not, we're sticking it to the other side. And we identified that there was a lot of policies that these leftists were pushing, and one of it was the DA prosecutors not prosecuting crimes in some of these sanctuary cities. Well,
Yep.
and that directly relates to deporting criminals that are here illegally and keeping them here. And why would you do that? Well, we have a massive influx of illegal immigrants, and some of them may be good folks, but some of them are because the Venezuelans and other countries are emptying their prisons and sending their prisoners, the crooks and criminals, some of the worst of the worst from their countries here. And
Mm.
when we realize that these cities are falling apart because the quality of the people that are coming into this country are not the quality that we're being told are coming into this country, we realize that we have a serious problem here. We got a long-term issue that we need to resolve, and we need to start raising awareness now because
Yeah.
our foreign adversaries, and we have to identify who they are. It's Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. Those are our primary adversaries. They've formed a coalition to take down the U.S. dollar. Right? They're building the BRICS, and so they're competing against us. And I've been in this fight since then. But I started in this fight because of election integrity in the 2020 election,
Mhm.
and seeing how things played out there. I just finished my bachelor's degree in cybersecurity, and I was really concerned about how the numbers were adding up or not really adding up. And I couldn't help but think they're going to have to rewrite all of the books on statistics because
Mm.
there's no way to justify how well, it was 90% voter turnout. But when you go to look at the actual voter rolls and the votes and what was tabulated, and you start foiling materials, you're like, this doesn't add up. None of these numbers are adding up anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I was really frustrated. I started getting involved in volunteering with um, various different organizations back in 2021. And I was really, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about trying to save this country, and and we've gone through a
Yeah,
lot.
and the two biggest issues, election integrity and the border. Have you found, because I think when the big surge started to happen, I mean, it started a long time ago, but the biggest surges of the last year and a half, 2 years, I found that a lot of people around the country think, at least initially, like, oh, the border problem. Isn't that just a problem for them down in Texas? Isn't that just a problem for them in Arizona because it's a border problem? And that's what I really appreciate about Border 911, going around the country with these information sessions, talking about fentanyl in your schools, cartel gangs in your neighborhoods, and setting up shops in your stores. People, what's the feedback you've been getting from people when you guys have been going around the country?
Well, you would be astonished by the number of people I've run into that have directly been impacted by
Mm.
fentanyl. Now they don't associate it with the border at all.
Oh.
They have no idea associated with the border, and that this unrestricted flow of fentanyl into our country. And it's not the only one. There's several other fentanyl derivatives or opioid derivatives that are even worse than
Mhm.
fentanyl that are coming. They're deadly, and they're lacing it into all sorts of other drugs. Um, and they have no idea that it's a result of the free flow between not just Mexico but Canada as well. We have people walking
Mhm.
across the border, unrestricted in Canada, there's all sorts of loopholes, but there's also so much terrain to
Yeah.
cover that it's impossible even to manage. And that has resulted in a total number of people every year dying from fentanyl or other synthetic opioids uh, on the par of a Vietnam level event every year, right here in our
Yeah.
country.
Eh,
And that's like at war in Vietnam. All the people who died and lost their lives over there to contain communism are dying right here in our own country. And it's I talk to people and they're saying, I had I have been impacted. I have two people that I know that have loved ones that they lost. One lost a son, and another lost a boyfriend due to fentanyl poisoning. And it, it's just so incredibly close to so many people, and but they don't realize that it's all associated, it's all connected. And it goes back to these cartels operating out of Mexico that are building they're making fentanyl there and shipping it in, but they're also coming in from the northern border as well. And those precursors that they're using are being bought from
yeah.
China. This whole thing is meant destabilization operation by the Chinese military, and it's being conducted very well. I'm very I'm
Yeah.
perturbed at the level of ignorance or arrogance, really, amongst our military and political elite establishment to turn a blind eye to the crisis that we're facing. And it's the other associated with the border, the criminal activity. I think it's finally coming around. Right here in Grand Rapids, Trump. Well, I'm in Florida right now, but I was in back home. I was born and raised in Grand Rapids, but and I'm running for office in Michigan's third congressional district, which encompasses Grand Rapids, Mesquite, and Grand Haven. But the we just had Ruby Garcia was murdered by an illegal immigrant, and her body discarded on the highway. Trump came, visited. There's a whole rigmarole going on about all of that. That's my
Mm,
backyard. That's how this isn't. Yeah, Michigan happens to be a northern border state. This isn't just a southern border
right.
problem. This is across the board. And these criminals are being released. They just busted, what was it, 8 Venezuelans in the Bronx. I mean, they had a child in the basement. They still don't know who the father or the mother are for that child. And it was a house across the street from a school. We have serious problems, and if we don't start to take the hard look at what's
Yeah.
going on here, our this is an
Yeah,
invasion.
and so, the America Project's on the front lines of, engaging the public all throughout the country with that awareness, with, teaming up with the Border 911 team. So what are you doing from Michigan in, Florida right now with your is that a Grand Rapids palm tree behind you right there? So what are you doing in Florida tonight?
So tonight we actually are supporting Tom Homan and Border 911. They're doing a fundraiser to really kick off this engagement series this election season. They need to fill the coffers so they can engage in this information war. The left has got unlimited supplies, and um, so I'm down here supporting Tom Homan, the former director
Mhm.
of ICE, at the events here at Mar-A-Lago, and uh, we are we are all in on trying to win this thing. We cannot let the left make up the lies and spew this rhetoric that is completely untrue. It's destroying our country, and it plays on the emotions of people in such a very demeaning
Yeah,
way. They take advantage of people's wanting help, and they exploit it. It's
yeah.
so evil.
It is evil. You nailed it right there. I'm gonna have you on again next week. I wanna hear about your congressional race and your volunteers, building that volunteer army and the grassroots army and how important that is. Thank you, Jason. Say hi to you can have the is, President Trump gonna be there tonight?
Yes, he is. He's going to be speaking as well. We're looking forward to
Hey,
it.
are you going to the $18 million Mar-a-Lago or the $200 million Mar-a-Lago? Which, because the
I,
media doesn't, they're switching back and forth now.
yeah, that's a good point. I think it's probably worth more than a billion, but
Right.
yeah, 18 million,
That's awesome. Say hi to the team for me tonight. God bless you. Stay with me.
Jason.